Hello, today we're talking about defending a vertical stack. Um, so, in defending a vertical stack, typically cuts in a vertical stack are going to be from the front of the stack or the back of the stack. Um, on the mark, if the off handler is over on the force side, you can afford to put on a quarter mark and make that a harder break side throw for them because the around, there's nobody over there. If the other handler is over here, then you could still leave it at a quarter mark or shade it a little bit more towards half mark. And by that, what I mean is, so a quarter mark is halfway between, a half mark is straight up parallel to the sideline, and then there's a flat mark, and a quarter mark is halfway between the two, about 45-degree angle. So, if you're guarding the other handler, you'll probably want to be a step or two upfield and a step or two between the disc and the player that you're guarding. This will make it so that they shouldn't go upfield of you, and they should have to lose yardage to catch the disc. They should not be able to catch it right where they are. As a defender, you're basically playing a percentages game. You're making, because you cannot take away everything, you're taking away certain things. Upfield, if you were to divide the ways that a player could go into basically going upfield or back to the disc or break side or force side, you want to be on the force side generally, and you want to generally not get beat deep and then pressure the throws underneath. If you consider yourself a better defender, good on up discs, and have a good sideline talking to you about when the disc goes up and are as fast as your man, I would say go force side and play underneath your man and force them to huck it over you, because that's where the percentages are with you, and you'll be able to get the turns. In a vertical stack, generally the last man back needs to be slightly behind his player, because this person's probably looking to go deep if you sit underneath them. That said, like I said, if you want to sit underneath them because you are fast and a good up disc defender, do that. But I'm speaking in generalizations here. At the bottom of the stack, you want to be underneath your man, slightly on the force side, because he has nowhere to bust deep to. If you bust deep, there's a pick, or he's running into other players. He's probably going to get it on a short little pass to the break side. You're stopping him from going to the force side, and you're staying close enough by being right underneath that you can go to the break side. The other players should not stand right next to their man. If you stand right next to your man, the lanes are nice and wide. Now, the break side lane is going to be nice and wide, unless the stack just sets up over there, which then it's not quite the same. But assuming they're setting up in the middle of the field, the break side lane is going to be nice and wide. What you should do, especially if you're like the 3 in the stack, is set up a little bit in the lane. Maybe the 2 in the stack also. The 4 in the stack could kind of do whatever. Watch out in case this guy busts deep on the 3. But by being a couple yards off in the lane, you make your defense a little bit bigger and give them a little less field space to throw to on the force side. So now you've got the mark who's taking away throws upfield on the force side. So taking away things over here, right? Theoretically, throws over here should not happen. So now as a defender, you're concerned with stopping them from catching it over here. So you're making that a tighter window by playing out off your guy. This guy's right underneath because that's the most likely area, or a quick dump right there. And these players are probably a few steps behind their guy to make it harder for their guys to go deep. Now, once you get it on the sideline, that's where you want to choke out a vertical stack. So you get it on the force side, stack has a bit. All right. So it's on the sideline. The stack is jade a little bit to give them still a break side look. You, if you're the marker, are stopping the dump from going off. You're at half mark, even shading dump. Okay? You're stopping throws from going here. All right? So that way, that guy's not going to get the disc. The defender for this guy is stopping upfield, up the line cuts. The guy on the 1 is going to play directly between his man and the disc with his head on a swivel, so his butt will be facing this way, his head will be facing this way, so he can see both the player and the disc. Okay? He might be just a step off this way. The 2 in the stack can be out in the lane. That way, if this guy gets burned on a strike, he can step out in front of the disc. Or if this guy tries to throw something on the force side, it's a harder throw and a tighter throw. The guy at the back of the stack stays back for anybody that goes deep. And then the 3 and the 4, at least one of them should play tight in case any of these guys bust break side for some kind of hammer. And the other one can probably just play on his man. So now, what you have is they're going to be forced to huck it into the teeth of the defense, or they're going to be forced to try to force it up the sideline, or try some kind of hammer across the field. And those are all the things that you want as a defense. Those are high percentage defensive plays. And the most likely 100% throw is here. So if this guy decides to run all the way back and lose 10 yards, 15 yards, then you let him do that, set a mark on him, and you still have kept position and they're right by the sideline and you're continuing to choke him out. So the defense has taken away certain things, and you can't take away everything. The thing that you're quote-unquote giving them here is here. But that's what you want. Eventually they run out of real estate. They retreat and retreat and retreat, and if they stay on the force side, which that's what you want to make sure that they do, if they're wise to this and see that your defense is all set up and they don't want to throw it into the teeth of the defense, and they decide to try to possess it and work it around to the break side, this dump will immediately be looking for some kind of a break. So what you need to do, if you're on the mark, is contain the break side. When the person catches it here, approach them from the break side, putting a force on, and not over pursuing and not biting on fakes up the line. If they put it back up the line and that other offensive player catches it, so be it. The upfield defenders need to watch that. You need to stop them from getting it on the break side, because once they get it on the break side, if they're a good team, they'll work it up the break side for a while. And a good vertical stack will possibly score the first time you give them a good look on the break side. And yeah, that's basically it in a vertical stack. Another thing to watch out for is also picks. If players cut from the middle of the stack or even from the back and are too close to the stack, if there's a pick, you need to call it. Otherwise, you're hurting your team by not calling the pick. And that's all for a vertical stack defense.